Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. How's we doing today? I am Loving Life Freely here on YouTube, and I am a full-time reseller on multiple platforms, as well as bringing to you live jewelry sales. And today we are going to be going through solds from last week. I did not have as many, but I do know for me, I have a lot going on here right now with family. And as y'all, it's like a broken record. Y'all know that my family comes first. Yes, I do run a business from home, but when my family needs me, I'm there for my family. So my sales, I think, are a little bit slower because there have been some days off and on the last couple of weeks, honestly, where I either didn't get anything up or it was literally just bare minimums just to kind of get through the day, just because I have had other priorities. And it may be that way over the next couple months while we're trying to take care of some things here. So I know that and I understand that. So for you guys, that might be why some sales are slow for me. I also do think we are still kind of in a slower season going into March, but I do know this, that it depends on what you're selling, how popular it is. We all know this, that you know, the need for it, what we're pricing it at. We already know all that. And for me, a lot of what I'm selling is clothes and jewelry, which is not as desired as like hard goods. So guys, keep that in mind when you're thinking about your sales. There's different reasons why different types of listings sell quicker than others, and their need and demand for it. So let's dive in to my sales for last week. This is so from like a week ago Sunday up until this last Monday. And we're going to dive in. I'm going to show you, there are a handful of them, not as many as last week, like I said. We're going to dive in and see what those are. And then I would also like to talk about another topic. We're going to kind of talk about that too. So let's dive in and take a look at sales. And then do stay till the end, because we are going to be talking about something that I think is important to talk about that has been an issue for resellers, okay? So stay tuned for the end, guys. Don't jump, and let's talk about an important topic, okay? All right. You guys, we're going to go over a few sales. We did have 8 sales this last week. I know. This week is a little bit different than my last week was. And honestly, it's probably just because of my schedule, to be frank with you guys. It's just with family member here, going through some things. My priority has been them and doctor's appointments and taking care of not just the doctor's appointments and going to and fro, but all the paperwork and online stuff, and it's just been a lot. So that, as you guys always know, that for my family, you know, my family comes first and then it's my business. That's just the way I always work it. I just feel that my family should be first. So I have not been able to put as many listings up. There are some day or two in a row sometimes lately where I haven't been able to do listings. It's probably affecting my sales. So, and also, because I do think things have been picking up. I really do think it's on my end. Let's dive into this. This actually is in the process of somebody trying to do a return. I don't know if this was my fault or not, but either way, I gave feedback on it. This sold for $20, but she complained because the tag was different sizing than the measurements, because the tag was different sizing than the measurements. I actually did do measurements in the photos showing the actual measurements, but she complained that because the sizing tag was different than the measurements, that I should never put the listing up and I was falsifying information. So even though I answered back, hey, I posted it due to this, I'm just going to let Poshmark take her information and my information, make their decision, because honestly, I don't care either way. If she returns it, she returns it. If I need to, I can always just send these into Helpsy Source, not Helpsy Source, ThreadUp, and I'm pretty sure it'll probably make at least a few dollars off of these at ThreadUp, and that's about where my cog is on these. So even if they get returned to me, they might even just go into a ThreadUp box, so I'm really not stressing it. I'm going to let Poshmark do their thing, decide from my feedback about why I did what I did, showing, saying, hey, look at the pictures. If they say it's on her end, then great, we'll do the return. If they say it's on my end, fine, said and done. Honestly, I don't care anymore about returns. So we'll see what happens with this one, but if I do end up, they do end up taking my side on this one, it is a $16 profit on a $4 item. Alrighty, let's move on to the next one. Alright, you guys, y'all know figs used to be a really, really popular This is a scrub top. And a year ago or so, year and a half ago or so, figs used to be really popular. I mean, really popular as far as scrubs went. So I did get this in an online auction probably about a year ago. I think I paid about $4 or $5 for it. I have had I have had a heck of a time trying to sell this thing. Originally I had it listed for 25 because back when I purchased it, I was watching people sell figs for 25, 30, $35 depending on who purchased it. So to me, $25 seemed very reasonable, kind of like the lower end of the 25 to 35, right? I've had a lot of questions, and I did finally actually put maybe I didn't. I thought I put the number, maybe it was in the likes. I put the number of the item. There's like a number on the tag that people are always asking about. I thought I put it in the description, but I guess I didn't. But anyway, if somebody finally offered me $15, and I just took it. I was so tired of waiting on this. Figs is not a brand that I would look for right now, unless you pick it up for $1 or $2, but you might be sitting on it for a while. Unfortunately, this is one of those brands that used to be really popular, but I just don't find that it sells very well, and I'm not the only one. I know I could say for sure that watching Mogi Best, she used to sell this brand all the time, and she has even stated months ago that she's no longer like seeking it out anymore right now. So it's not just me. Okay, Columbia Sportswear. This was a nice sweatshirt that sold for the men. It's a 3X again. This was in really good condition. All my men's pieces are $3. And I took a $20 offer on it. And of course, there was the Poshmark fee. So yeah, good profit on this one, $20. I was really, really happy with that. So that went out the door. All right, let's head on over to, I did not have any new Macari ones this last week. However, and I didn't note this last week, I did make a sale on Vinted. I sold a piece of jewelry on Vinted. On Vinted, it's just like on Depop. There is no seller fee. There's a buyer fee. I think they charge the buyer a certain percentage for their fee. But there's no seller fees on Vinted like on Depop. So when you make a sale, it's literally like if I sell something for $5, I get $5. There's no fee. I did sell something on Vinted last week. I'm waiting for somebody to pay on for something else again that sold today. So hopefully Vinted will start picking up some more for jewelry. Let's head on over to eBay. This came in, let me make sure I have this right. I think this came in the thread-up box. One of my last thread-up pieces. Yes, this came in a thread-up box. One of those big bulk threaded boxes where I paid like $1.19 for the item, and it finally sold. I got an offer. I think I had this listed for $25, and somebody sent me an offer of $15. I said yes, please, sold. So $1.19 into what, maybe 12, $13 by the time we take out the fees here. So I was really, really happy to see that go and move that one on. And I sold another men's piece. This one again, $3 for the men's items. This was new with tags, and you know, I don't remember what they sent me for an offer. Let me double check. Because sometimes if you get an offer on eBay, eBay used to show what it actually sold for compared to what it was listed for. They no longer do that. So let me go into sold and look it up really quick for y'all, because it does tell me on my end. All right, so this sold for $11. $11. And yeah, I know that that's not much, guys, but this isn't a fancy piece, and I paid $3 for it, and I'm really trying to move a bunch of my clothing right now because I just don't want the bulk of clothing that I have right now. I still have a lot of clothing inventory, so I'm really looking to get my cob back, and if I make a few extra bucks, great. We're just looking to move it. So I was okay with $11, got my money back with a couple extra dollars. Good to go, moving it on. All right, this is another one of those items. This is Open Edit. Again, guys, Open Edit is a Nordstrom brand. Nordstrom pieces, as I've mentioned previously, just do not do well for me anymore. They kind of sold a little better before, but now they've really slowed down in how well they sell. And Nordstrom is a very expensive brand. This one sold for $15. I took the offer, and yep, I was good with that. This one, I think I paid probably like $5 on it or something like that. $5.85, $6, something like that. But it's out the door, onto a new person, brand new with tags, really cute sweater. All right. let's keep moving along. Okay, you guys, when I did a big box of activewear through Helpsy Source well over a year ago, paid like $3 a piece for each one, thinking I would do really well in that box because activewear back then was doing very well. Well, this took me forever to sell, and I was very, very happy to, let me see, get an offer of $12, and somebody purchased it for $12.71. It was 15% off. Very, very happy to move this out. Still made some profit on it, which was great because I only paid like $3 for it. So even though probably made like $10 on it by the time they do the fees and all that, I still like tripled my money on this. But that's one nice thing about having low cogs, is you still make good money even if you only sell it for $10 or $15. Okay, let's go on to the last piece. This was Billabong. Again, I'm not sure where Billabong is sold. This might also be Nordstrom's. I'm not sure. If you do know, feel free to drop in the chat and let me know in the comments where Billabong comes from, if it is Nordstrom's or somewhere else. I'm honestly not sure. And this one sold for, let me see here. This one sold for $19. I had it listed for $29.95 for best offer. Somebody sent me $19. Yes, please. Again, like I said, looking to move some things along. This was a super cute dress. It was a knit dress, super comfy, very, very cute. And so even if I paid like $5 or $6 for this, which Billabong I may have through a Nordstrom box, through the liquidation company we were going through. What was it? Quick Lots. This might have been through that, or this might have actually even been a ThredUp box. Let me see if there's a number on this, because that will tell me. Okay, I didn't put a number on it. I'm going to presume that this was probably a ThredUp box. Either way, I still made a decent profit at $19 by the time they took out a few dollars in fees. I still made a decent profit, and again, it's out the door. So let's go ahead and wrap up this video, you guys. Okay, you guys, thank you so much for joining me and seeing what my sales are. I do want to talk about something that has been kind of prominent in the reselling, not like huge, but it has been kind of prominent, is, let me see, what do we call them? Not fake sellers, but scammers. There's been some scammers on eBay. There's also been some scammers on different platforms. And I'm not just talking about people buying things from you that are trying to scam you, but there's been some scamming going on from sellers. The reason why I wanted to touch on this topic is because this is a pretty big topic. I've been watching some videos, and I'm not going to name any names, y'all. You might already know what I'm referring to. But there's been some issues on different platforms with sellers trying to scam buyers that are resellers, okay? And it's not cool. One of the reasons why I want to touch on this is because there's also been scamming on eBay. There's been scamming on Poshmark. You don't really see it on Mercari, but I just want to give you guys a heads up. Well, actually, there has been on Mercari. I actually have to revert that, because recently there was a notification from Mercari saying, hey, I need you to approve your information, give us all this, and I did that not knowing what it was. And after a caution of mine from doing certain things, I contacted my bank. I actually put a thing out on Instagram on this. I contacted my bank, and it turns out that the person requesting the withdrawal, my bank did hold it. They didn't let it go through. That it was actually a scammer through Mercari trying to get money from Mercari buyers. So there is stuff going on Mercari too. If you ever receive a notification on Mercari saying, hey, we need you to verify your information. If you don't do this, you can no longer sell on here. It's fake, okay? And if for some reason you did do that, contact your bank. Hopefully your bank will notify you saying, hey, we have this concern of ours. So the bank did stop it, and then they reissued me a new card just to make sure that my bank account was safe. We also see this on eBay, guys. I've had people tell me and try to tell me that, hey, we didn't receive our product and we want a refund. So what I did was I contacted eBay and I let them know, hey, I'm showing via tracking that this item was delivered. I had this happen twice in the last week, that this item wasn't delivered. eBay did let me know that they had verified on their end that the item was delivered and that I am in the clear as a seller. So what I did is, because see, one of these buyers on eBay actually wanted me to send them a refund, saying that they never received their item. So I asked them, okay, so what happens if they don't, cancel the refund request? And they said, don't worry about it on your end. We'll take care of things. And I said, okay, what if they give me negative feedback saying that, hey, I never received my item? They said, don't worry about it. And what happens is when they have a complaint on eBay, if a buyer has a complaint on eBay, they give you like up to 5 days to respond back. So what I did in both those cases, I actually responded to the buyer and I said, I contacted eBay and they have let me know that based on their information and my information, you've received your item. Okay? I contacted the buyer letting them know this. Not only that I have on my end proving that they received it, that it was delivered, but also that I've already been in contact with eBay and they're showing in their records that they've received the order. So what I did was once that 5 days was up, they give you a certain date, like it was March 23rd or whatever, okay? I'm just throwing out numbers. The next day, you're actually able to go into that order and request that you forward this onto eBay for eBay help. Once you do that, they will go through and proof the information and they will close the case that that the buyer put against me. And on both those situations, they closed the case against me, and it was all said and done. So the buyer can't come back at me saying that I owe them money. And they did tell me that if they give me negative feedback, I can let them know based on this case and my phone call to them, they will remove that negative feedback because it wasn't on me. I would like to know if this has happened to any of you guys. So it's happening on Mercari, it's happening on eBay. I haven't had an issue on Poshmark for a while, but we all know that you can get people on Poshmark that will try to say, hey, please contact me via an email because the pictures aren't coming through properly on my phone and I'd like to talk to you in person via text so that you could send me other pictures for this information because I really want this piece. People will do that to you on Poshmark. It hasn't happened to me in a while, but I have had it happen multiple times on Poshmark. Those are scams. I actually, when I very first started on Poshmark, did not know about this. Also, I had that happen on eBay and I didn't know about this. You never, ever, ever, ever communicate outside of platforms with a buyer to send pictures or monies or anything like that. So if you are kind of new to reselling and you don't know about these situations via different platforms and how it can come about, I want to do a message, since we're talking about sales here, and do this message about scammers. So if that happens to you on Poshmark, you automatically go into that person's profile, and I could even show you, I probably should show you here how to do that. You go into their profile and you can show, hey, click on their profile and you can actually note through Poshmark that this is a spam, and then you can block the person. So if you note it to Poshmark, there's a scroll down that you can click on, this is spam, and then Poshmark will research that person and block that person. And then you can actually go into another section of that and block that person so they can no longer send you these messages. So it's happening on Mercari, eBay, and Poshmark. It can happen there. And it happens in different ways on each platform, so you just have to be astute to know what to look for. And then we have sellers, resellers trying to scam buyers, which is so not cool. There's been a thing about this going on because there's actually some resellers scamming sellers. Again, you may know what I'm talking about, and I'm not going to mention any names. But guys, I just want to make note of this because for those of us who are legit resellers, trying to be honest and earnest in making a living, that affects us because some people, I was watching a YouTube video the other day, and a gentleman, again, I'm not going to name names, he said that some people have actually reached out to him and told him that they don't want to buy from him because they're concerned that he is a scam reseller, and so he was actually losing business because of the situation that has recently occurred. They didn't want to take the chance that they're going to be scammed by him also. So it is affecting resellers. So let's be very mindful of this. And just be cautious of other resellers scamming people. And if you do know somebody that's doing that, please feel free to report it to the platform that they're on, whether it's an auction platform or just a regular listing platform. So I want to make note of this, you guys, about scamming, because it is actually kind of prominent in reselling right now that people are that there's scams going on. So I just wanted to touch on that. Those are some of my experiences. I wanted to share with you on each platform what's happened to me, so that you know what to do with it. If you do want me to do a video on Poshmark about how to go through and block those people on Poshmark, do let me know in the comments below. I'm happy to take a few minutes to make a video like that. So if you do want me to do that, let me know. So yeah, I just wanted to touch up on that with these sales. So yeah, I hope this helps. I hope this helps. I know for me, any little tidbit information as a reseller that we can have in our, in our repertoire to be a better reseller and to know what to look out for, so that our reselling business is legit and we're not being scammed ourselves. And also to know when other things might affect our actual reselling business from other scammers. It's always beneficial to be able to pass along this information, share this with each other, so we can run legitimate businesses, be a blessing to other people, and have fun as resellers. So guys, I hope again that this was helpful. Y'all, as always, please leave in the comments below any thoughts, or if you've had other incidences or you'd like to share scenarios or other things that I didn't share, please, please, please share with others. Share with me. I want to learn from you guys too. And as always, you guys be productive, and we will see you next time.